hey, you built this wealth. You have rental property and it has equity because just like everybody else's real estate, it has grown in value. And so you have some equity. But the challenge is, how the heck do I get that money out of there? And that's always seems like it's a challenge for real estate investors.
It is. It definitely can be, and in part because of the profile of that person, that owner of the residential real estate, rental real estate, that borrower. They oftentimes, I can almost say maybe a majority of times, will tend to have more challenges associated with qualifying for the financing that they would need to pull that cash equity out. The real estate investor, and again, I'm talking about borrowers who, they don't just happen to have, although this kind of borrower is included too, but you have those who maybe inherited a rental property or a property that they turned into a rental, but otherwise they wouldn't consider themselves, real estate investors per se. But then you have this other group of folks who are really real estate investors proper, meaning that's what they do. In fact,
that's their business, right?
That could it's basically their business. And I over the years I've encountered, in fact, I can remember, 30 years ago, I had a customer for a while and he was a very interesting guy. I mean, he owned he was self-employed, a painting contractor, like commercial, for like painting restaurants and office, all that kind of stuff. Very successful business, paid himself a nice, handsome $500,000 a year W-2 salary, but he became a very focused real estate investor. And when I first encountered him, he owned 27 single-family houses.
Wow.
And he had a very specific strategy. He would only buy rental property with at least 20% down. I think actually it's 25% down, only with 15-year financing, because his goal was, and this is a guy who was in his late 30s.
Wow.
His goal was by the time he was 50, he was going to retire and live just off his real estate portfolio. So you occasionally run across a client like that who is a pure real estate investor. He happens to be self-employed, making a good living. That did help him with the challenges of being a real estate investor and accessing capital loans for the properties. But a lot of real estate investors aren't quite like him, and they may be a real estate investor without maybe another job or being self-employed, owning a company. So all their income's coming from that real estate portfolio. That presents some challenges because of the qualifying criteria for conforming loans. I'm talking Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, versus what are the other options that you can access that cash if you're not going to meet the qualifying criteria